Disney is struggling with their latest live-action remake as Snow White is staggering from a 2024 delay. Since its original announcement, Snow White has been riddled with controversy. While some might be sillier than others, the concerns surrounding this movie are genuine. Disney is no longer the box office juggernaut they once were. While they are still massively profitable across the board, they struggle in certain aspects. A once stable Marvel Studios are desperately trying to hold on to their former glory as they face one box office disappointment after the other. Lucasfilm has been on a downward spiral since the sequel trilogy, and the Disney main studio has yet to release an original piece of work in years. Instead, they have been banking on live-action remakes to keep their profits up. While they initially found some success doing this, people are getting tired. To add to their bad luck, Hollywood is also in the middle of a massive writer and actor strike that is not slowing down soon. Sadly for Disney, they find themselves in the middle of all this drama as one of the story's main villains. CEO Bob Iger is hated by both fans and writers for how he is handling this whole situation. Fans are upset with him for obvious reasons. They do not like the direction he is taking live-action movies in. Writers are upset with him over his harsh response to the strike. His unwillingness to negotiate a fair deal with the industry has left him very unpopular. To make matters worse, the lead actress in one of Disney's biggest upcoming films is making crazy statements and alienating fans. Luckily for Bob, it is not all bad news. A couple of weeks ago, lead actress Rachel Zegler made a few comments regarding the original Snow White that did not sit right with fans. In an interview, she suggested that Prince Charming was a creep. She also clarified that the remake will follow a brand new story. Fans were already on edge about this remake, and her comments did not help to ease concerns. Based on some leaks, it is obvious that this movie will have little to do with the original. Firstly, they will have a brand new spin on the Seven Dwarfs. Disney decided not to cast little people for these roles and instead opted for a much more diverse cast. It is worth noting that this is not the first time this film got a live-action spin. In 2012, they released Snow White and the Huntsman, starring Kristen Stewart, Chris Hemsworth, and Charlize Theron. The movie gave a brand new take to the classic tale, and while fans were mixed, they did also for a 2016 sequel. The first film made $400 million against a $170 million budget and is considered a success. Sadly, the second film failed to turn a profit. The big question now remains: will this brand new remake have better success? If current trends are to be believed, the answer is no. It is currently being reported that Snow White is facing its first major setback as the film could miss their March 2024 release date. However, the delay has little to do with the state of the film and can instead be linked back to the ongoing strike. As stated earlier, Hollywood is in a war against themselves. Actors and writers fight for higher salaries while studios refuse to cave in. Disney is currently going through a transitional period. They do not simply want to turn their classic IPs into a live-action film. Disney is not just remaking their original work but completely retelling it. While this is not uncommon for studios to do, it does leave many fans upset. There is plenty of speculation about why this film faces a possible delay. Many are stating that it is not a coincidence that Snow White is being pushed back after Rachel Zegler's controversial comments. Others suggest that Zegler's remarks and the delay are not connected. Actors are striking, and thus, the delay is happening. Regardless of the reason, it will do little to change the film's direction. Most reports suggest the movie is all but done with very little filming. A few scenes will likely need to be filmed, but they cannot proceed due to the strike. Disney also cannot afford not to promote this movie. The current rules of the strike state that actors cannot promote the film. Due to this, it is understandable that the studio would not want to move forward currently. Financially, waiting until they can continue full steam ahead will make sense. It is worth mentioning that most of the drama surrounding this film is online. It is unlikely to significantly impact the larger movie-watching community that is only sometimes online. Box office numbers for this movie will be determined based on how the trailers are promoted. Most people will not watch Rachel Zegler's interviews and likely are unaware of her comments. While a bad reputation can undoubtedly hurt a film, it is unclear if Snow White will be impacted. Fans can be very dedicated, and most grew up watching Disney. Thus, the debate about source material will always show its head. At the same time, most understand that you do not have to follow the original work, at least, but you must understand it. The rule is simple: If you want to add to the story, you need to respect the story. When fans feel that is not happening, they will resist. Currently, most are sick of the endless remakes. It is happening all over the entertainment space. Music, games, and movies are all guilty of this. The reason for this is simple: forever growth and an expectation to make billions. Studios no longer want to take risks on new ideas and will make them millions. They instead want to be safe and make hundreds of millions. On paper, this is an obvious choice. Why settle for millions if you can make billions? However, in the long run, this strategy can hurt you. Disney is already starting to feel the impact, and if changes do not happen, who knows what will happen? While I do not believe they will fail, it can still hurt them. There are always competitors willing to take risks. If all you have to offer is remakes, people will eventually move on. Luckily for Disney, most fans do not care that much. They don't read YouTube comments under trailers, and they do not spend time on Twitter. They go to the movies and watch any movie with a good poster. This ensures that Disney continues to make millions. However, over time, they might stop making billions. In the corporate world, this is a disaster. I do not predict that this film will fail. However, I do see a world in which it breaks even. Rachel Zegler will likely continue to comment, and fans will keep pushing back. Disney will dismiss the comments as trolls, and the cycle will continue. I am sure that we will not see this movie in March. We will likely see this film towards the end of next year.